Okay, I am George Henry, principal at the Alphansus Davis High School in Spalding, Clarendon. And you are tuned to Sherlock Robinson's channel on YouTube. He is doing a job that many persons would not do. It is voluntary work, and therefore I'm asking you to like and subscribe to this channel, because I'm sure that there is information that you can get which will be able to help you someday to come. So support the channel, and I'm sure that you will never regret. God bless you.
Outside, along with Miss Tamara Anderson and Miss Shade Spence. They are, well, Mrs. Brittany is the owner of Chance Bookshop. You would have gone there to buy your books. And they are also past students. She's standing out there. Please give her a hand. I welcome also Miss Kimberly Ashley. She is representing the Bethlehem Teachers College. Miss Ashley is on the outside. She's waving from the outside. All right, I'm not seeing the other representatives of the companies. I see a gentleman just came in. I soon get the name, and then Mrs. Wisdom will do that. Welcome. But let me welcome and acknowledge the other past students who are here with us this morning. Mr. Roland Samuel Jolly is at the back. You might wonder why he's there. He said he has the flu a little bit, so he doesn't want to come in. And Mr. Jolly was a head boy in 1999. I also want to welcome Miss Marla K. Taylor, who is a past student and a special education teacher at Christian Elise Primary. So those of you who are from Christian Elise Primary, teacher is here. I welcome also Mrs. Claudine Hanson Carter. She's seated at the front. Stand, Mrs. Carter. Past student and guidance counselor at Clarksville Primary School. I welcome also pastor of the Spring Ground New Testament Church of God and Police Corporal Alric Brown. Can you stand, sir? Please acknowledge him. Thank you so much. I welcome also Miss Angela Chan. Now, for those of us who remember Angela, she was the young lady with the camera everywhere she goes. And today, Miss Chan is a land surveyor, drafter, and a budding architect. Yes. And beside her is Miss Jada Lewis. Now, I'm not going to tell you, Jada Lewis, I'm sorry. I'm not going to tell you her role yet. Who do you think she is? Stand up, Jada. Yes, she's a fashion designer. Speak with her. Also want to welcome Mr. Sherlock Robinson. And as this gentleman gets here, he gets busy. He is a medical records clerk, and he is our photographer and YouTuber for today. So he'll be the person on whose channel you'll see the proceedings today. So I want to welcome him. Put your hands together for him. I also want to welcome Mr. Alway Blake. Mr. Blake is seated here, and he's a funeral home director. I want to welcome Mrs. Kenisha Powell McClymont. She's seated right here, and she is a teacher. Also, Miss Susanna Powell. Miss Powell. I'll get back to that one when I get her information. And I also want to welcome, finally, these are the names Wisdom will give you some of the names. I want to welcome Miss Janisha Henry. Please start Miss Henry. And Miss Henry is a pharmacist. So our past students go far and wide. And I have a list of over 40 names. So some are not here as yet, but they will be here. Alright, so look out for them as they come. And how can I not welcome our teachers? Teachers feel welcome today, especially those teachers who are past students of this noble institution. I don't want to call the names because I don't have the full list and I don't want to get in trouble. And also there are other staff members who are also past students, and I welcome you. Students, what would careers day be without you? Pat yourselves on the shoulder and say, welcome self. Alright, so we are all feeling welcome, and I want to acknowledge Mr. Jamish, Mr. Jameson and Mrs. Rayner, and they are from Church Teachers College in Mandeville, and this is the college where many of our teachers were trained, and I see Ms. Taylor here saying yes. I went to Shortwood. And representatives from the Knox Community College. And students, you will see many booths today, many persons will be here. I'm asking you, especially our grade 11 and 6th form students, to capitalize on the opportunity that you have today to speak one-on-one with these persons. And for those who are interested in going in areas where our past students will represent today, be sure to have a talk with them, find out the subjects that you need to get in, and all the necessary information. God bless you everyone, and feel welcome.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Johnson. I want to big up all the committee members, the planning committee, for working together to see this day. All right, and so when we saw the rain last night, we were saying, oh, it's going to wash out, but we're here. Sun is shining. I'm going to ask all the past students to stand at this time, and you're going to just stand here so the cameraman can catch you. Yes. Oh, yes. Or you can stand from where you are. All right. Sabina just walked in, and we want to acknowledge. Yes. All right, so this is the team that is here just now. Miss Britton, run in, quick. Mr. Chair, waiting on you to stand, sir, and to join the past student. All right, we will take this one because some persons will be leaving, Mr. Henry. All right, so just stand there, and I move from away from. Smile, smile, smile for the Kodak moment. 50 years from now, your picture will be on the outside.
I am expecting a better good morning from everyone, including the persons at the head table. Alicia Ashman, it is so good to see you. She is a student of mine from Bethlehem, and she's a past student of this institution. Put your hands together for her. She has excelled, and others have excelled. And I'm happy to see our past students. Don't ask me to call the names because I can't remember some of them. You see how this one here? Mr. White, it is good to see you. But I don't remember your name. But Mrs. White Nelson, I will not forget your name. Because she was a student with us at the time when we were here, ensuring that we paid attention to education. It is sad that these days we have so many persons who are not paying attention to the education in their school. Today, I get the impression that the fabric that made up Angela White Nelson, Miss Ashman, Mr. White, and others like us, and Marla Kay, to a lesser extent, the fabric is finished, the material done. Because it seems as if gone are those days when persons who are in school are serious about school. These days we have far too many persons whose feet are swift to mischief, and that God hate. Pastor White, you know that. These days we have far too many persons attending school who are paying attention not to education, but they are paying attention to what I call beautician. And they spend a lot of time in the bathroom, and they fix up their hair, and they carry a toothbrush, and they brush their shoes until the color disappears. That is what we have, unfortunately, in schools these days. But I'm happy that I'm going to ask the past students to stand one more time. Because these are persons who work hard at the Spalding High School, now the Alphansus Davis High School. And they have excelled, and they have reached very far. Some of them get reached where they want to, but they have reached far enough to the extent that they want to come back here to show off, so to speak. And nothing wrong if you show off, because you would have earned it. And so when I see all of you, I am happy to see, even the Henry down here, sir. I am happy to see you all, because you have shown the world that something is happening at this institution. And I'm going to ask the others to put your hands together for these people, because they would have earned the applause that they are getting. Unfortunately, you may be seated. My son has not yet reached here. He's on his way. And he's also a part of the success of this institution, because much was instilled in all of you. Hence the reason why you have decided to come back to put your achievements on display and to say, it is not the school that you attend, it is what you do at the school where you are placed. And so I want to use this opportunity to say to the others of you who have not yet achieved what you hope to achieve, that you must make use of the time that you get at an institution like this. If you utilize your time wisely, manage it well, I am sure that one of these days you will be returning to the school on a day like this for you to be recognized as a past student who has achieved. It is very good, or it's a good thing when we can call our past students. In fact, we don't even have to call them, they return to us to say thank you for what you have done. Because indirectly there might be some persons who may not have taught you, but you would have benefited from their existence as well. And so today I want to say to us on this Careers Day that students, you have to be focused. You have to screw your head tight on your body so that you know exactly what you're about. And the problem is that we have far too many students attending schools these days who don't know what they are about. Some are at school for the wrong purposes and the wrong reasons. But we want all of you, including those who are not a part of this ceremony today, to understand that the reason why you are placed at a school like the Alphansus Davis High School is because there is something for you to achieve so that you can go into the wider society and make your contribution as well. Jamaica is depending on every one of you to come back and make a contribution, because
In no time, all of us who are here as past students, our time will be expired and you will be replacing all of us. And so I want you to make good use of your time and opportunity. Do not waste your time. And I get the impression that the persons who waste time are those who don't know what they want to achieve later down in life. They don't have in their head the career that they would want to pursue in order to make a significant and meaningful contribution to society and to the world at large. We have past students all over the world. This little school on the hill. We have doctors, we have nurses, we have lawyers, we have nutritionists, we have teachers, we have police officers. Mr. Brown only can tell you. We have a lot of them, we have radiographers. We have persons who are making significant contribution to areas in the world. And you can do it as well. It's the same brain that God gave all of us as past students that you have. It is the same blood that runs through our vein that is running through yours, and therefore we are all equal. But the difference between some of us and some of you is that you're not utilizing the time that you get in order to make yourselves what God intends for you to be. And so I'm challenging you on this career stage to stay focused. Learn to do what you know best. Try to set your goals and objectives. Work towards them. And I'm sure that you will achieve just like any other person who God has created. And so I want to wish you all the best as we celebrate 50 years of existence. Over the past 50 years, the school would have produced some of the best in Jamaica. And some schools are the envy of what we do at this institution. And so I am challenging everyone, including past students, to continue to raise the banner and the flag of this institution high. Because we might not be one of the name brand schools, but I'm sure that the achievements at the name brand schools are being experienced at this school as well. And so we have no reason to feel inferior, because the same curriculum that is being followed by the other schools is the same one that we are following. But the difference between some of them and we here is that some of them are more focused. They want more focused students to leave our school. And so I want to wish you all the best. And I wish that for the next 50 years, we will achieve even greater things, because it is there for us to achieve. God bless you. Past students, continue to keep in touch with us and continue to lift the banner of our noble institution. I am the proudest past student of this institution. No one is as proud as I am. And so I have no apology to tell the name brand schools that our school is also on top. We have some challenges, yes. There are nothing that we can't address, but we have to be united and try to do what we can do best. So, congratulations, enjoy the day, and continue to remain focused. God bless you.
And we want to acknowledge also the Northern Caribbean University, Mr. Linton, Mr. Cuff, and students from the Department of Communication Studies. All right, I want to just pause here to say all these pretty people that you see seated at the front, their job is about to start. I just said to the guest speaker that they will not be with you. So it's been videoed because I'm going to take them away to meet with our grade 7th and 8th students as they share with them for a few minutes. All right? And I am sure that those students over there will be saying, nobody will remember me, but we're going to them. We're going to take Careers Day 2023 to them. All right? So I'm going to invite the group to meet me on the outside in a little while. Mr. Pastor Brown, you're wearing two hats, so you have to be addressing the students here about the JCF. I was told that you brought that message, so you're going to come with me and then you come back, all right? So at this time, Mrs. Brown.
Madam Moderator, Mrs. Wisdom, Principal Henry, our guest speaker, Ms. Edwards, and other members who are seated here at the table, Ms. Ashman, Mr. White, Mrs. White Nelson, members of the academic, administrative, and ancillary staffs, our past students, representatives from the various organizations, students. Good morning to you all. This is an exciting day. The COVID pandemic created havoc in our school lives. So many activities had to be put on hold for almost 3 years. And it's such a joy that we could have Careers Day, especially in a year when we are celebrating our 50th anniversary. A career students, what is a career? It's a long-term activity or a profession that one engages in, which may be for the rest of the person's life. So, choosing a career path can be very difficult. The reasons that it can be difficult include not knowing the subjects that are required for the career path, not knowing your capabilities as it relates to the career that you want to choose, not knowing where to go to attain the requisite skills for your desired career. It is for these reasons and others why a day like today has been specifically organized for you students. And to all grade 9 students, let me see the hands of all the grade 9 students who are inside here. Okay, I was hoping that I could see more hands raised. I'm going to encourage you grade 9 students to make the best of this opportunity today. I brought a little document here in my hand. This is what we call our subject selection document, which all grade 9 students must complete before going to grade 10. This little document is what will indicate to us where we should put you as students in terms of preparing you for your career path. There are those who want to become nurses, you want to do the sciences, the arts, whatever you want to do. This document is what will help us. So it is important for you today to make sure that you get the best. Get all the information you can today, because it is going to be important for you. To all grades 10 to 13 students, this is an opportunity to gain the necessary information to strengthen your efforts in achieving your career goals. And you know, I just want to say something to our grades 11 to 13 students. These days, when we are applying for a job, you will hear that you should put beneath your what is called your career portfolio. And and that is where you are going to start making your career portfolio from here. What are the activities you took part in while you were in school? And now your career portfolio is what your prospective employers are going to look at to see how qualified you are for the job. So it is very important, grades 10 to 13 students, that you make the best of opportunities like these. So, I will say, as the VP for academics, students, when we plan activities like this for you, don't take them lightly. Don't take them lightly. Many students in other high schools would wish that they have opportunities like these. Alright? So, with that said, I wish for all of you a fruitful and exciting day. God bless you all.
Good morning, students. Good morning. A little bit louder than that, man. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. Awesome. So I know a lot of attention have been given to the past students this morning. But this day is really about you, right? Yeah? Yep, no, you're not sure? This day is about you, right? It certainly is. And so I want to honor you this morning, and I want to just give gratitude for the opportunity to be here as a past student of this association. Maybe if somebody can guess what year I graduated, you might have and get a token. So I don't know what you're going to use to decipher if it's my face or aged I look, or you might want to ask a teacher that might have been here, or also if you're going to come up with it, then there will be a nice prize for you. Alright, so I'm going to take the time just to give honor, of course, to the distinguished guest that is on the platform before I move forward. Of course, I have to honor our principal, Mr. Henry. Put your hands together for Mr. Henry. So as Mr. Henry said, so when I was here, our principal was, of course, Mr. Alphansus Davis, right? God bless him. He was such a blessing to my life. Mr. Henry was a lecturer at Bethlehem Moravian College when I was there. And I was very pleased to hear that he accepted the task to take over the principalship of this very noble institution. So Mr. Henry, I honor you, sir, and I bless you. I also just want to honor our Vice Principal of Academics, Mrs. Maury Brown. She shared some key information that I think we should be thinking about as we go through today, right? It's all nice and fun to see, all the people that are coming and sharing, but we really want to be as intentional as possible when we're thinking about what is in store for our future, right? I have Mr. White on the platform. I honor you, sir. And of course, our very distinguished guest speaker for today. Let's have a round of applause for our guest speaker. When we can have a past student to be our guest speaker, right? That is something to celebrate. So let us celebrate our guest speaker today and bless her and pray for her as she prepared to share with us. And of course, we are going to honor our lovely. She led us beautifully in devotion this morning, yes? No, sir, that sounds funky, no about that. She led us beautifully, Miss White Nelson. She led us beautifully in devotions this morning, right? Yes. And if there wasn't anything else that was going to take place, she shared enough nuggets that would bless us for the rest of the weeks, months, and years to come. Yes? All right, awesome. All right, so of course, we're going to go into today's program. But, I kind of tried not to start calling the names of teachers. But when you have those teachers that your life would never be what it is unless they were in your life. And I owe any academic or professional success that I have, not to my university lecturers, not to anybody that have taught me at any higher level, but to be honest with you, I owe a lot of my academic and professional success to the teachers who taught me at this very institution. And I'm going to tell you a quick story. I don't know if I'll tell it now or maybe later on. I have a YouTube channel, so I know people like story time. Make sure you look up my YouTube channel also. It's Journey with Alicia. But I know people like story time, and I'm going to tell you a story so you will see why I honor the teachers at this institution to the extent that I do. But as I am here, I just want to make mention of the teachers that I see currently, right? And I don't want to get in any trouble, but a lot of the teachers that were here whilst I was here have moved on to other assignments, like a Pastor Brown. Anybody know Pastor Brown? Pastor Brown? Let me hear a shout out for Pastor Brown. That man radically changed my life when he was here. Miss White, who was here. But I want to honor Miss Morgan. Where's Miss Morgan? Let's hear a shout out for Miss Morgan. Miss Morgan tremendously blessed my life. And I honor you, ma'am. I was so blessed to see you when I walked in this morning. God bless you. Mrs. Samuel. Where's Mrs. Samuel? She probably also have a class. I don't know if she's out there. Pastor Nelson. Hello, sir. I am blessed to see you. And all the other teachers that whether you taught me or not, I honor you today. And I bless you for continuing in the work that you do each and every day. As a teacher myself, I know how arduous the task can be. All right, so without further ado, our story time first. No, that doesn't sound loud enough like more and tell the story. Story time? All right. So I'm going to leave a quick nugget with you. You know what? I want to leave with you today because the guest speaker is very able and she's willing and she's going to share the greatest nuggets with you. But what I want to talk to you today is about timing. Right? One of the things that I often say is that purpose is not a destination. Purpose is a journey. You understand what I mean? Purpose is not a destination. It is a journey. And so that means that you can always get back into your purpose because it is never too late. Somebody say never too late.
Never too late.
Never too late.
Never too late.
That is correct. And I know that it's never too late. You know how I know? Because when I did my common entrance, that's what it was way back in the day. When I did my common entrance, I lived in Kingston. And I passed for a high school in Kingston. It's an all-girls high school. Shout out some of the all-girls high school where you know in Kingston. Woodland, Andrews, Burnbrook, but still not here the other way. Immaculate, close, Holy Childhood. Thank you. I passed for Holy Childhood High School, right? Going there my first year, grade 7, through one of the roughest times in my life. Right? My parents, my mom and my dad separated, and we were going through a difficult time. Very difficult for me emotionally, financially, and otherwise. Right? And I was doing very poorly in school. So 7th grade, I was, trying to figure the thing out and them waiting. When it got to 8th grade, it got really, really rough, right? My grades were going downhill. Downhill. I had a problem because I was in between homes. Because I was struggling emotionally, I was struggling financially. I was from a broken home. And I'm sharing this story so you all could know. It doesn't matter what is going on in the home. We will have financial difficulties. we will have emotional trauma sometimes. But we're talking about time, right? So we're talking about it's never too late. So it's never too late. It's never too late. And so that was my situation. At the end of 8th grade, when I got my report card, you know what it actually said? It said that it spoke to the fact that my grades were so poor. I was going to be on probation, and when I returned to 9th grade, if my grades continued that way, they would have to let me go from that noble institution. Can you believe it? Imagine getting a report card like that. Yeah? And so it was that same summer after 8th grade, I decided to move to Spalding to live with my grandparents. You know Zinc Shop? So Zinc Shop. Zinc Shop? Yeah. Zinc Shop with my grandparents. And that summer, I went to convention and I accepted the Lord. I got saved and I started at this school. You know, many were of the idea, I heard Mr. Henry spoke, many were of the persuasion that coming from a school like Holy Child High School, I should go to Knox or I should go elsewhere. But I remember my grandmother said, as Mr. Henry said, it doesn't matter the school that you go to, you can accomplish anything that you set your mind to. And so I came to Spalding. And family, let me tell you, that's the best decision I ever made in my entire life. This place molded in me the leader, the academic achiever, the professional, the business owner that I am today. Not anywhere else, but this very institution. And so I came here, and I came with a mindset to say, I have a fresh start. We're talking about time, right? It's never too late. Let's say that. It's never too late. And so it was not too late. And when I came in 9th grade, I decided that I was going to turn over a new leaf, and that's what I did, right? By 10th grade, I was the president of the student council. By 11th grade, I was the head girl. Graduated top of my class here, received the principal's award. And thus I want to tell you, to cut the long story short, that it's never too late. And so I turned a new page, and this institution and all the wonderful teachers that you see here made it possible for me. I talk about Pastor Brown, because I remember when I went to Pastor Brown's office and I said, sir, I don't think I can do math. I'm not doing math in CFC. I'm going to do all that, but I'm not going to do math because it is impossible. When I see it, it's come like I see French. Not even Spanish, no, I mean French. When I look at math, I said, look to me. Pastor Brown said, sit down. What do you mean? I said, sir, I just cannot do it. He said, sit down. He said, if I tell you you can do it, you can do it. He said, where can you go without math? What can you do without math? I said, not much. He said, well, you're going to do it. And can I tell you, because of that encouragement and his extra help, I passed math at the very first year, and I didn't have to do it another year, right? So sometimes your teachers know, right? Sometimes your teachers know. So let me hear you say, it's never too late. It's never too late. Amen. All right, so let's go ahead and move on in our program today. We're going to have a statement of purpose by Mr. Ralston Cook, our guidance counselor.
Let me quickly acknowledge the members at the head table, led of course by our principal, Mr. George Henry, and our vice principal, Mrs. Murray Brown, along with the other past students of this noble institution. Let me quickly also acknowledge my colleagues who are on the outside and all the students who are privileged to be in the auditorium and in the quadrangle. There are others who at this very moment, some of the past students are now interacting with them, so they might not be able to get some of what you're getting here. But as you know, today we're celebrating not just today, but the whole year, will be celebrating the 50th anniversary of this noble institution. And the decision was taken that we also need to pull in at least 50 past students that can help to mark the occasion. Now we're looking at career extravaganza, and we want to expose all of you to the number of different careers that are now existing, and some of the entities are here that will be offering some of the steps that you need to take. But when we think of a career is an individual's metaphorical journey through learning, work, and other aspects of life. And what we're actually saying is that we're at a stage now where not many persons are just selecting one skill or choose a particular career and then they stay with that for the rest of their lives. That isn't happening again in most places. So we're saying that a career is an individual's metaphorical journey. In other words, as you choose your career path, you're going to find that as you go on in the years to come, there are going to be changes that you might start out in this particular career, and before you know it, you're gone into some other field of endeavors. I just want to share quickly as it relates to your ideal career. And it says the first step to choosing your ideal career is self-exploration. So you first need to know who you are before you can decide on the career that is right for you. And what this is saying, that you might have a friend going into a particular field. That doesn't mean that you must just follow your friend and then choose the career that he or she would have chosen. But you must then know yourself, know who you are, so that the career that is beckoning to you, the field that is beckoning to you, then that's the field that you're going to go into. It is said that one career theorist, that is John Holland, believes that we should choose careers based on our personality types. He outlined 6 personality types. And he started out with being realistic, persons who are realistic. Then he went on to persons who are investigative. Thank you. Just to announce that somebody has actually parked at the vice principal's spot. And so I don't think she's able to park, and so the license plate number is 6768 KG. So if you're anywhere in hearing of my voice, can you move quickly so that our vice principal can get a place to park. So that's license plate number 6768 KG. So I was actually saying to you before that we have one career theorist, Mr. John Holland. He believes that we should choose careers based on our personality types. And so he started out with the personality types, with being realistic, those who are realistic. Then he went on to those who are investigative. And these are some of the persons who will go into law enforcement. They want to know what actually took place. Then you also have those who are artistic, and they would have shown their skills by the kind of paintings and other things that they would normally do. And then he mentioned those who are social personality type. And this is where you have like the guidance counsel and social workers and others. And then he talked about those who are enterprising and lastly conventional. And once you first discover who you are, then that is going to be very helpful when the time comes for you to make a decision on the career choice, the ideal career that you want to choose. So God bless you as we continue to explore all that is on hand today. Back to our moderator.
It's never too? This young lady said it very loud and proud. Come here. Yes, you. One with a nice haircut. Come on. He said it very loud and proud, it's never too late. I have a token for her. Just for speaking up so boldly. Look at that. You see, because I like people speaking up boldly, you know, when you're so sure of who you are. That you don't allow anybody to hold your back, right? You use your voice and you do it loudly and proudly. So here you go. You are welcome. All right. My dear Ashley.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. The keynote speaker for Careers Day Extravaganza 2023 is Miss Brittany Edwards. Miss Edwards was born and raised in the community of Sudbury in Florida. At age 9, she was adopted and her adoptive parents raised her with high standards and in a Christian environment. In 2012, she passed her GSAT examination and was awarded a place at Spalding High School, now Alphansus Davis High. While in high school, she was very involved in extracurricular activities, namely Red Cross Link, the debating club, a member of the choir, a peace ambassador, and her most notable contribution was to the Key Club, where she served as president. Upon graduating, she attended sixth form at Knox College. Here she served as United Nations ambassador and represented the school in 2018, placing third in the island. Additionally, she served as senior prefect and vice president of Miss Edwards was the sixth form valedictorian in 2019. Miss Edwards wanted to be a teacher or a journalist or a businesswoman. However, while in the sixth form, the will to pursue a career in law was amplified when she learned of the experience of a relative who was having issues and could not retain the service an attorney because of lack of funds. Consequently, upon leaving sixth form, she enrolled in Bachelor's of Law program at UTEP. She graduated with the first class honors and received the president of the University for Excellence. Currently, she is employed full-time as a contract analyst and is a candidate preparing for the bar exams at Norman Mandela School. Miss Edwards is a Christian who believes that God has a divine purpose for her life, and her heart's desire is to find her purpose and live it. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please stand, put your hands together, and welcome our esteemed past student, Miss Brittany Edwards.
Miss Gordon, you did well. Just before we begin, could I ask persons from the music department to give me a little bit of volume on the microphone, because I've been having some challenges with my voice and I want the last person standing in the step to be able to hear me. Testing, good, amazing. All right, thank you. So this morning I want to honor and acknowledge the presence of our principal, Mr. Henry, our vice principal, Ms. Murray Brown, our able moderator, Dr. Ashman, Mrs. White Nelson, Mr. White, our lovely staff, all our teachers. Oh my God, it is an absolute pleasure to be here. I'm so excited to see you. Seeing you reminds me why I love this place. I want to also greet all our past students. It's just beautiful just to see the product of this amazing soil. Just a reminder that great things come from Alphansus Davis High School. And our purpose here today would not even be as amazing if we did not have people like you to present to. So this morning I want to greet the future of Jamaica and the world, the students of Alphansus Davis High School. So I'm excited, and forgive me if I move around, if I walk in the aisle. I'm a very energetic person and I love to interact with my audience. So today I'll be speaking to you on a topic called Legacy 50. And this is in acknowledgement of your theme that says 50 years and diligently forging towards career development. Now, my theme is Legacy 50, and the 50 is for F, focus, I, integrity, F, faith, T, thankfulness, and Y, you can. Now, I know all of us, we came prepared for school today, so I'm going to ask you to take out a little notepad real quick and your pen or your pencil, because we're going to be writing down some things that can help us to forge towards career development. Are you with me? All right, so get those pens and pencils and books out because we're going to get ready. So while you do that, I want to highlight two of the key words from the theme. So, forging. It means to create something strong, enduring, and successful. And diligently, which is also a part of our motto here at Alumni High School, it means to do something in a way that shows care and consciousness. Can I hear somebody say care and consciousness? Great. So we are celebrating Careers Day today, and it's in celebration of 50 years of the existence of this noble institution. Now 50 usually marks Jubilee year, and it's a time where we look at economical, cultural environment, and commercial reset. Now, I'm going to be talking to you, as I said before, on Legacy 50, and I'm sure I'm seeing the pens and the papers out. So the first thing we're talking about is focus. Can somebody say focus? Alright, so focus, it speaks about the center of interest. And since we're on Careers Day today, I want to ask you, for you to ask yourselves, what is your center of interest? What is it that you are interested in? What is it that you do that reminds you of something that you always love? And that is what we think about firstly when we think about a career. The things that gravitate to us, or we gravitate to them. The things that speaks to our character, who we are, what we love to do, what we're naturally good at. Because that level of focus helps us to understand our why. Why do I want to do this? Why do I want to become this? Why is it that in the next few years I'm going to pursue this? The focus that we have can sometimes be narrowed. The focus that we have, it can be blurred by some things around us, because perhaps, as our speaker said, you are from an environment where, there's brokenness. You're from an environment where you are being called names that's not what you are called, your name is. And there's so many things that would want to blur our focus, want to allow us to feel as if, boy, it don't make sense. I try for this career because it can't happen. I'm not good enough, or whatever it is that may come to your mind. So our focus can sometimes be blurred, and in order for us to get anything good, we have to have a focus. Isn't that right? So when you are focused on something, there are things that can pull it away from you. There are things that can remind you that, boy, I don't have the money. My family not so rich. Or I have the money, but mommy want me to do this, or daddy want me to do that. So today I want to encourage you to focus on your center of interest, what it is that you want to do. Because when you leave here in a few years, the thing that you want to do is what will be done. The thing that you put your mind to and you focus on while you are here, that is the thing that will actually make sense in the end. Are you still with me? All right. So when we talk about focus, we also want to move to the second point. Remember, you're writing these things down, but you're also putting the things that stick out to you, because after today, you're going to need them. Alright, so the second thing we talk about is integrity. And it speaks about being honest and having strong moral principles. Now, I don't know how many of you know that you have an exam coming up, and you're not so prepared, right? But my friend over here, she has all the answers because she's been up toiling and she's been studying. So you know that she has the answers, right? So you're gonna come and you're gonna say, well, you're gonna give me all the answers, right? And I can probably buy you some lunch later or something. It speaks, we're talking about integrity. On your path to success and finding what you really want, there will be a lot of distraction, a lot of things that want you to take a shortcut, that want you to probably say, listen, I can't go the long route. And if you realize what's happening in society right now, a lot of people want quick cash, fast cash, so they don't go the route of pursuing excellence the right way. But what I'm encouraging you today as Alphansus Davis High School students is that you choose the path of integrity, because no matter what you want to become, if you want to become a journalist like my able friend right here, if you want to become an attorney like me who's in training, a teacher, a doctor, a hairstylist, a fashion designer, it takes integrity, and your integrity speaks to your character, because you see, when you leave here, listen, you will have a reputation. Your reputation goes with you forever. So you see, if you're in school and you're the student that always talk back and you have no time to do what is right, people will remember it. So at this stage, you have an opportunity to build your character. You have an opportunity at this stage to forge into something successful. You have an opportunity to build a foundation right here. And why you have this opportunity? Because you have amazing people around you who are willing to pour into you. Listen, I remember every conversation I have with my teachers while I was here. Listen, they poured into me. Because there were days, oh God, I feel like I need to start walking now. So there were days when you come to school, you don't really have much money. I don't know how many you can relate. You come to school and you feel burdened down and you feel sad and you feel like there's just nothing you can really do. But there are people who will pour into you, and that pouring into you, take it. Build your character from where you are. Because it doesn't matter where you're coming from, which background, what your parents say, what people say about you. Remember what you know about you. Remember what God says about you. And in the mix, build your character. Are you still with me? Are we still together? So we did say F is for, and we said I is for. Alright, you're with me. So the next thing that we want to talk about is the other F, and it talks about faith. Can somebody say hallelujah? Alright, I'm not here to preach, but I'm heavy on faith. I believe that God has given us the ability to believe because He knows the power of it. So faith, and I want to talk about F-A-I-T-H and F-A-T-E. So with F-A-I-T-H, and this is personal for me, and let me tell you why. When I was a student here, I remember when things got rough, and as the Mrs. Gordon, yes, she said that, I was raised in a humble background, but I was raised in the fear of the Lord. So I remember I was coming to school one particular season, and it was just a lot. It was my godparents, they're retired, and they don't really have the money all the time. But I remember I was coming to school, and there was just so much that was going on in my life, and you can imagine a little 13-year-old just stressed out and she just can't bother. We have any 13-year-olds in here? Who's 13? Oh, this is 9 to 11. Okay, alright. So young Mr. Son is much younger than you. And I remember the pressure and I was like, well, I'm Mr. Young, I have stress. But anyways, but I didn't have any money. And I remember coming to school, I had this friend, her name is Sasha Sterling. She was an amazing friend, and I remember we used to put our money together and we used to buy stuff. And at the time, we used to buy corn curls. Yes, do you have corn curls here? Well, corn curls was $50. And we had a little ice cream was also $50. The little crown water was also $50. And we pulled it up, and that's what we buy for lunch. Yes, that's what we bought for lunch. But I remember it was sitting to a point where I was like, we can't buy the corn curls no more. We can't buy the crown water no more. Right? So I remember praying and saying, God, please help me to this place called school. All the pressures and everything that's coming, I need your help. I can't do this alone. So I was involved in church, I was involved in so many things at school, and I just don't know how I'm going to do all of this. And I said, God, I need your help. I need your help. So I remember my grandmother called me that evening. No, my grandmother, not my godmother. She said, girl, how you stay? I said, well, grandma, I don't have any grandma, grandmother, don't have any money. And, we have to go to school and all that thing. And she said, well, I'm going to send you $5,000 and see how far it can stretch. And if you know anything about Brittany, you know that Brittany is an avid saver. So I saved that money. And I pinch it little by little and I come to school. Because why? Why did I come to school with a little bit of money in my pocket and the stress and everything? Because I had a focus. I remember saying to myself upon starting that I am an ambitious angel and I'm destined for greatness, the power of greatness inside of me. Those are things I kept telling myself because I believed that God was going to take me out of nothing and put me into something. So I'm speaking to somebody today that the faith that you have in God can take you a far way. The faith that you have in God can take you a far way. Now, when we talk about faith, I love Hebrews 11 verse 1. It says, now faith is the substance of things hoped for and the things evidence of things not seen. So, some of you might be hoping for a life outside of just mere getting, it's more than just getting the ordinary. You want to go extraordinary. But I want to encourage you that you have to do this with Christ. I see that you're listening, your face shows me that you're listening. I love this. You have to do it with Christ. And at the end of the day, when everything fails, it's going to be God who keeps you. It's going to be God who inspires you. You go in, you don't have the will. I know exams coming up and I know probably you feel tired, but keep going. Because it's at the end of the day, when it comes down to June, July, you realize, whoa, I did it. I was tired, but I did it. It takes a lot of pushing in, a lot of exerting the pressure. But when you exert the pressure and you keep moving, you see the results. Can somebody say, keep moving? Keep moving. It doesn't matter how hard it gets, no matter how it pushes against you, keep moving. I remember we're talking about career development, so nothing good comes easy. Nothing good comes easy, it all takes time. So we take our focus, we build our character and our integrity, we have faith that God is going to do it. And in the midst of all of that, we are thankful. We are thankful. So let me tell you another story. I wasn't the best math student and I never loved the sciences at all. And Miss Murray, I don't know if Miss Murray remember, but listen, I was in our chemistry class and when I tell you, Miss Murray, I had to leave. I left and I did accounting because I could not manage. So, and let me see all the chemistry students, the science students, let me see you. Alright, I honor all of you. We're here and you're doing well. But another thing in career development is that you remember, alright, so I need to not go close to that. So another thing with career development and in building what you want is knowing what works for you. Listen, know what works for you. You see a friend over here? She might be good for the chemistry and the physics, and she's good for human and social. Wait, I was good at human and social biology because Mrs. Maxwell. So I was good at that. But the others, I couldn't read. And I had to realize that that never did work to bring me, and bring it have to do something else. And it's okay. It's okay to try and do your best at it. Don't just give up because you feel lazy and you can't bother. No, don't hopscotch because you don't want to put in the work. But if you put in your work and you try everything and it's not working, remember you can try something else, right? Remember that not all of us are built the same way, not all of us are supposed to venture on the same path. And when you acknowledge that this is your strength, this is your weakness, you work better at it. Alright? So I don't want any of you to feel like because you're not getting it, you're worse than anybody else. You are not. And you are still destined for greatness just as the person who is excelling in this era. Because your strength is probably another person's weakness. And that is why the Lord created us with special talents and abilities so we help each other. Are you still with me? So the thankfulness that I'm talking about is being grateful for the things that you have, that you are able to do, and learn how to work and build on that. So a lot of times, because as I'm going back to the grades and everything that other persons have, so you come to school. I'm going to give you a story about my 7th grade shoes. So when I was coming to 7th grade, right, and my godmother bought me a shoes, right? It was an Adidas. Anybody still wear Adidas? When you wear Adidas still? Good. But my Adidas, it wasn't so cute, right? It wasn't so cute. So it had a little shell at the front, and I got it from a graduation from primary school. And my godmother said, this is what you're wearing to high school, And I wore that shoes. And listen, the shoes stretch. It stretched until it's ugly. And I'm trying to do everything to destroy the shoes so I can get another one. But it never did work. And she said, listen to me, Chin, I know that you're trying to destroy the shoes, but if you destroy the shoes, you're going to walk with the same way to school. And I know that I couldn't. So, in that season, I'm looking back and I'm like, God, now I'm able to afford nice shoes. And I look back and I say, well, I had to be grateful because I had something to come to school. I had something that could keep me out of the wet. And I never had to worry that it was going to leave me alone. It was so strong that I couldn't even destroy it. So I tell you the story so that you can remember that the little things that you have now, the shoes and the color uniform, and you're probably not having now, and the car key probably washed out. So listen, these things at the end of the day when you look back, you're gonna I'm grateful that I passed this season, but you're gonna realize that listen, that don't make you who you need to be. It does not make you who you need to be. What matters is what you put in. When they come to class and they say, let's go students, we're going to go on anatomy, and this is the topic that we're going to. In literature, we're going to look at the boy who cried wolf. That's what you focus on in this season, so take pride in what you have. You have the one shoes and it don't look so good, polish it and come to school. If you have the short hair, look here, get somebody plant it out small and make it neat and wash your face and come to school. Listen, students, when you're thinking about career development, every single person who you look at on the media, anywhere you look at and you see them and you say, wow, they look nice. They have a story. All of them have a story, and everybody's story looks different. So you do not condemn your own story because someone else's story looks different. Don't condemn your story because why? Them say me not this and me not gonna make this and mommy wasn't this. Do not believe that. Believe what God says about you, and you believe what you say about yourself. So if you talk good things will come. Am I right? Alright, so we're on the last one. I'm not sure how much time I had, but I I'm getting down. I don't want to lose your attention because I see that you're listening. The last person at the back in the black jacket, are you hearing me? Are you still with me? You are? Okay, good. Alright, so the last one, I'm going to be talking about you. And the you in 50 is about you can, you will. Now, I know most of us, how many of us want to become a graphic designer? Want to become a graphic designer? No? Anyone who wants to be great, a graphic designer? Anyone of you want to become a pharmacist, an attorney? Good, we have a lot of people in the building, a journalist, teacher. Great. We have anybody who wants to become a doctor? We have anybody who wants to become an astronaut? Yeah, no, wait. Okay. We have anybody who wants to become a building engineer? Anybody who wants to become a soldier? A police? Alright, do you have anybody who wants to become a beautician? Alright. We have a lot of careers. Do you have anybody who wants to become a nurse? Alright, lots of nurses. Alright. So this is the exercise. Shows that. Are you still with me? This exercise shows that there's a lot of things that all of us want to achieve, isn't that right? And you come here with a purpose. Let me see the grade 8 students. No, grade 9? Grade 9, grade 10, grade 11? Alright. So you would have passed through 7 and 8 grade already. And you are now at the stage where you're selecting what you want to do, isn't that right? You're selecting your modules? Alright, so you're selecting the subjects that you want to take in CSEC. And at this stage, some of you probably confused. I see all of you, put up your hands and say you know what you want. But I'm speaking to those persons who don't know what they want as yet. Work on it. Identify what you like. Identify the things that you're good at. And do your research. For those who want to know what they want and don't those of you who know what you want and don't know what you want, I want you to do some research. Now we're talking about you, the last in 50. We're talking about you, so do some research. What is it that you want to do? I want you to write this down. Do research on what you want to do. And after doing your research, you figure out, is this what fits me? Is this something that I will do well at? And I want you to also, the next step is to speak to someone who is doing what you want to do. Get a mentor. Get someone who you see is doing well and you say, yes ma'am. And another thing I want you to do in trying to figure out what is it that you want for career development is figure out how to get there. Can somebody say how to get there? Alright, and why I tell you to figure out how to get there is because a lot of us, and it's a common thing in Jamaica whether you have money or not, but we don't have money, is that finances is an issue. We want it and we have the big dreams, but we don't have the big money. And when you start at this stage to figure out what you want, this is my dream plan, this is what I want to focus on. When you do that, you start to now have the plan as to how to get there. Do I get there through scholarship? Do I get there through student loan bureau? Do I work and go there? You start to have the plan early. Remember, we're talking about you, the work that you need to put in. Because a lot of times, we know that we want something, but you know what we do when we don't want something? We start saying we can't do it. How many of us have always said that? We can't be, not sure it's too hard. Who said that? We can't bother. Yeah, it happens. Tired. Yes, it happens. But I want to encourage you in this season to put in the work. Put in the work, put in the research, find out how you go and get there. Because once you believe that you can, you work and you put that in God's hand, who else will stop you? Who but you will stop you? So I'm telling you, in this auditorium, and I hope that you write it down and you work on it, because the next time I come back to Alphansus Davis High School, I want to hear that people are doing the research for their career development and they are forging that path that they need for great success. Are you still with me? So, when you focus on you and everything that you want to do, the focus, the integrity, the faith, the thankfulness, remember that you can do it. Can somebody just say, I can do it? I want you to say with so much conviction, I can do it. And if you never believe that the first time, put your hand on your chest and say, I can do it. I can do it. So you see when you're feeling impossible, and you see when all the coursework coming up and, you know, CFC came coming up and you just feel like, listen, I cannot. You can. Tell yourself that you can, because the things that you let out in the atmosphere speak so much of what comes to you. So I want you to begin to speak positive things over yourself. If your hair is short and you don't feel so empowered, look here, look at the mirror and say, I'm beautiful. I'm beautiful. If you have a nice long hair and people still tell us a problem with you, tell them I'm beautiful. We need to start reinforcing positive things over ourselves. We need to start looking into the mirror and believing that I'm going to be the future. What are you going to be? Alright, she has a low voice like me, but she says she's going to be a future nurse. What are you going to be? Alright, she's going to be a nurse. What are you going to be? Dermatologist. So we have these people in this atmosphere and we're going to just be releasing that we can, we will, under God we can, under God we will. And I just want to leave that with you today, that you can. I want to remind you today that no matter what happens, it don't matter. Listen, write it on the front of your book if you need to, write it on your mirror if you need to, because you can do it. Listen, as it was said in the bio, I'm still a law student. I'm studying to take the bar exam. So in a few years, I can be your attorney. Anyways, guys, I want to tell you that I still do that. The speech that I was given on my graduation day from this institution, I remember the speaker said, and I still have it on my mirror till today, that be a good mother to your mind. That was her message. And you know what that means? What does it mean? Can somebody tell me? Be a good mother to your man. What does it mean? Anybody? Alright. You have somebody over here. Alright, she said self-control. Good. Anybody else want to try? No? You want to try? Train your mind to think of positive things. Good. Self-control. Train your mind to think of positive things, and you both are correct. Being a good mother to your mind, you tell yourself the positive things. You talk to yourself as you're talking to a child and say, listen girl, you know you can do this? You know you're smart? Listen young man, I want some stuff. Hey, you're nice, you know? You need to be a good mother to your mind. I remind focusing on you. You don't focus on the environment. Don't focus on everything around you that tell you that you can't. Alright, and I'm enforcing that because coming to high school, I had a lot of insecurities. I had a lot of fear that I couldn't. I had a lot of fear that it's not going to work out for me. Wonder what will happen. I had a lot of worries and doubts. But as growing up, I realized, listen girl, God have a plan for you and you need to work and live in that plan that God has for you. So I'm encouraging all of you the same thing today, that in working on career development, work on building a legacy. You hear me? Somebody said legacy. Legacy. You see, Mr. Henry is the principal of this institution. He was a student here. Guess what? This is a legacy. He is carrying on a legacy because he was a student and he went elsewhere and he did great things and he come back to lead. And what you want to do is that whatever you're something so great that generations to come can benefit from it. Generations to come can say, listen, you know Brittany did that? You know Keisha did that? You know Jovan did that? Yes, you're building the legacy. So when you think about career, don't think that just, oh, me I'll get up and, you know, let me just do something to get some money. No, you are beyond that. You are beyond what the pay that you get when you get out of here. You're beyond the career. Listen, you're building a legacy. And so I tell you today, the topic is Legacy 50 because I want you to have a legacy mindset. Can somebody say legacy mindset? So if you're building that business, whatever it is that you want to do when you leave here, think about the path to get there, but don't think of you not being able to, or the money not going to work, and I just want to do this for just, no. Legacy. Think of legacy and remember that you can make a change. The world is depending on you. Alphansus Davis High School is depending on you. And most importantly, divine God is depending on you. So these are my few words. And bless you, Alphansus Davis High School. I expect great things from every person in here. And I trust that when you leave here, you start putting in the work. Because greatness has to come out to all. I want to say amen. All right, so God bless you. Take care. Give a round of applause. Awesomely done. Thank you so very much to Miss. Let me make sure I correct her name because my daughter's name is Brittany, but it's Brittany, right? Awesomely done, and thank you so much, Miss Edwards. You did excellent. Let's shout out. The 5, I think it's 5, it's 50, right? And all together we're going to shout out what each of the letters represent. So F, focus. I, integrity. F, faith. T, careful. U, Y. Union. All right, I like it. All right, I am going to have our distinguished past student, Mr. White, to come up and share with us briefly whatever he has laid on his heart at this time. Please receive him.
This is Alphansus Davis, past principal of the Spalding High School, now Alphansus Davis High School. Tune in to Sherlock Robinson YouTube live channel. Share, subscribe, like, make your comments. He's doing a very good job in the community. Please give him your support.
Our principal or vice principals, moderators, and a special guest speaker, students, teachers, well-wishers, and those who are here to participate, I want to take this opportunity to say good morning. In 1991, at 5 a.m. each morning, came a voice on the radio that many of us as children then looked forward to every morning. The voice would say, "Good morning, Jamaica!" Once you heard that voice, you know it's time to get to school. So, for many years, I was attracted to the voice of Francois and also Reverend Vivi. The music is fine, but the message is divine. Ride with the Reverend Vivi and the blessing plan. Those were the voices we heard on radio. You listen to Barry G, the boogeyman, rocking you this morning and taking you in the afternoon all the way up to 6 o'clock. And then you'll hear voices such as Richie B. What you want is what you get, and what you get is what you bargained for. Now, those days when we heard those voices, I always wanted to be a radio announcer. It was very challenging then. So I heard our principal, Mr. Henry, on several occasions. I heard him this morning, and the last time I heard him before this morning was at a function at the Gulfview Hotel, where even the principal of the Prime Minister of Jamaica was, and he said that he is the proudest past student of this institution. But I want to burst his bubble today and tell him that my mom is the proudest past student of this noble institution. Why? My mom was a part of the batch of the first students ever to walk through these gates. Yes, my mom was on record as one of the first students to attend this institution. And at the age of 14, she got pregnant, and there I came. Yes. She told me she thought of abortion, she thought of several things, and a friend of hers and her brother, who was in the constabulary force at the time, said to her, "Do not abort this child." So I came into the world. And in 1991, I became a student of what was then the Spalding Secondary School. By the time we reached to 1993-94, it was now the Spalding Comprehensive High School. And I am wearing what was then the first badge that ever been made in the history of this school at the time, and became the deputy head boy and took this badge from this day. So from 1993, I have been wearing this deputy head boy badge. This badge at the time I was in grade 9, yes. Normally those days it would have been a grade 10 student, but at grade 9 I captured the deputy head boy badge, and it's still sitting right here. This badge has traveled to me to different parts of Europe, to North America, and it now resides in Canada. This tie I got the second time around in 1994 again as a deputy head boy, and this was one of the first ties that had ever been made in the history of this school. So you know what? You can't afford this badge. You can't afford this tie. And I'm going to put it down for generations to come. Not just that. My son, my first child, who was born many years after, became a student of this noble institution and graduated 3 years ago. So beat that, Mr. Principal. Stand here today and prove to me that you have 3 generations. That you see, he can't even move. The crown is mine today, and it belonged to my mom. So my mom became one of the first students who came through these gates. I became a student in 1991. My son graduated from here 3 years ago. My son and I today are working in one of the largest contracting company in Toronto, Canada. We are involved in building roads, rehabilitating highways, building high towers, and a lot of things that this company does. And one of the things I love about this company is that this company gives me time to travel anywhere in the world to do anything I want to do for God, as long as I'm back to work. Now, not just that, I must speak of this noble institution, because it happened on a day like this many years ago, when it was a career day, when our vice principal sitting right there, Mrs. Murray Brown, said to us back then, "Why don't you guys think of becoming a nurse?" We laughed after her, because boys being nurse those days, no way. Yes, your vice principal there told us then to become nurses, because at the time nurses were short. Today I'm in Canada, and when I look at the wages of nurses, I'm sorry I wasn't a nurse. When I go to Florida and I look at the wages of nurses in Florida, Texas, and different parts of Atlanta, I am sorry today I wasn't a nurse. So I encourage those of you today who want to, follow that career pathway, do it. At your age, I did not know what I wanted to do in life. But it happened right there in a devotion as I closed. It was Pastor Brown, Arthur Brown, who was doing the devotion, and his topic was Jesus Loves You. I was a troublemaker, so they called me Juba then, the Joker. Mr. Davis, the principal at the time, he shouted at the top of his voice, "You boy there, come up here right now." He took me out of the line, and I had to stand beside Pastor Brown until the devotion was finished. And Pastor Brown had his arm on my shoulder, and he said, "Jesus loves you." That day I accepted the Lord as my personal Savior right here in this school. Now, there are many stories I could have told you, but Mrs. Pierre Brown, who still works here, from that day she called me Pastor. And when I give trouble, she said, Pastor boy, behave yourself. So guess what? I was no longer a Juba. I behaved myself. And there are many teachers here who encouraged me. There was Miss White at the time in the business department. She encouraged me to become a banker. And I said, no, not me working in the bank. I'm going to teach the money if I get it. But years later, when it came to graduation, on the day of my graduation right here in 1995, I got what was known as the Principal Award, and it was 1 year tuition at any institution I decided to study. Yes, I got the Alphansus Davis Scholarship, and it was 1 year paid for by the then Spalding Comprehensive High School. I was so confused and excited. That was the day I met my father right in this building. Didn't know him until that day. Yes. So, as I close, I took that scholarship. I did not know where to go. I went to Church Teachers College. After 2 weeks in the class, I'm like, this is not for me. I went to Bethlehem Teachers College. After 1 month in the class, this is not for me. Then I found myself at the then Jamaica Bible College, where I became comfortable, and after 3 years I graduated as the Student of the Year, after which I also got a scholarship from a university in the United States of America to study for 3 years, my masterate in theology and business management, after which I would have gotten a church to pastor in New York for 5 years. I took the scholarship, but the time when I was to leave Jamaica, something happened in my family, and I had to give it to a friend of mine who is still pastor in the same church in New York. I then got a third scholarship from Toronto, Canada, where I was now enrolled as a business management student doing my bachelor's in business management. My first year was paid for by a principal in Toronto. My second year was paid for by the college principal. And my third year doing my bachelor's was paid for by a university in the United States. I say that to say to you, you may not know what you want to do today, but listen to those who are experienced. I've worked in many capacities in this country. I became, in 1999, the director of the Jamaica Child Evangelism Fellowship for Manchester and Central Jamaica. Many of you hear those programs on the radio, the Children Bible Club. I was involved in the production and also in carrying out that mission in school. Later on, I worked with the Family for Christ Ministry. Then I was recruited in the Jamaica Constabulary Force. And during my training in the Jamaica Constabulary Force, I skipped out of it and I went to Toronto, Canada, where I reside ever since. While in Canada, I continued my study in law enforcement, and I became a licensed Ontario investigating officer and security in Ontario, Canada. From there, the Lord continued to use me in ministry, where I continued my theological studies and formed the Family for Christ Church in Brampton, Ontario, Canada, where I pastor at this moment. And not just that, as I am speaking to you at the moment, I am now enrolled in one of 2 universities in Canada that teaches law, immigration law. So I'm now enrolled in the Queen's Law College, about to continue my studies in immigration law. Since 2016, while traveling on a plane, while traveling on a plane, I met a gentleman, didn't know who he was. He was from India. He followed me on the plane, though Jamaica was not his destination. He came off the plane right here in Jamaica, and since 2016, I found out that he was a supervisor in Air Canada. He introduced me to traveling in Air Canada and many things that Air Canada have been involved in. So those of you who want to become a air hostess, we have the right opportunity for you. From that flight, I became what was known as an agent for 35 colleges and universities in Canada. So since 2016, I have a company that is known as AW Immigration Registered Regulated Canadian Consultants Company based out of Toronto, Canada, and we have several immigration consultants, licensed immigration consultants, and we have immigration consultants that speaks at least 12 different languages. Therefore, we have offices in Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and different parts of Asia, and we are recruiting students from all around the world. We have several students that have graduated from this noble institution, and I look forward, as of now, to see some of you in Canada studying in universities, and I can tell you this much, scholarships are available. Last year, out of Jamaica here, last year and since COVID, over 90% of all the students we recruit to Canada have all got scholarships. And yes, they're past students from this noble institution. Time will not allow me to talk to you more about that at the moment, but I have an office now at shop number 9, upstairs Lucky Dollar in Spalding. Also shop 32, Caledonia Plaza Annex. We have representatives in Alberta, in Toronto, Canada, and also in Brampton, and we're heading to Florida soon. Students, a poem says, lives of great men all remind us we can make our lives sublime, and the departing leaving behind us footprints on the sands of time. And coffee, our coffee, had said it well, blessings fall upon the right time, and in the Pamphile right time. So make use of it. God bless you.
You've been very attentive and very engaged, and I honor you for that. I just want to take a few minutes just to honor and recognize some of our additional guests that joined us since we started. We have AIMS is present here on the outside. We have the University of the Commonwealth present with us today. We have the Jamaica Agricultural Commodities Regulatory Authority, that's the JACRA, is here with us today. We have the Jamaica Defense Force, of course, let's welcome them. We have the Department of Correctional Services also here with us today. And we have the NSWMA. And finally, we have the Registrar General Department present here with us today. I also want to take a few seconds just to recognize our past students who joined us since we started this morning, and you were recognized. Let me see the past students that are on the outside. Can you just walk up to the back and wave at us in here, please? All past students that are on the outside, come this way and wave at us. See, we have one there, one Mr. Yes, nice big wave. Waving at us, turn around and look, all the noble past students of this here noble institution. Welcome here today. Excellent, excellent, excellent. And remember the story I'm telling you? And remember the story I'm telling you? One last note I'm going to leave with y'all here today is this one. There's nothing impossible. Anybody can raise your hand. I was a teacher in the classroom for 7 years. Anybody raise your hand and tell me what subject do you think I taught? Yes? She said math. Any other guess? English? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. She said business. Miss White would have loved to hear that. Well, I spent 7 years in banking and finance, right? So I did. So I honor Miss White for all she taught me in accounts. Somebody said math, mostly said English, yeah? Accounts. All right. When the part of the story, right? Remember me telling us, say, Pastor Brown says, what can you do without math?
Nothing.
And I had to say nothing. He said nothing, right? I've taught in several states. I've taught in Florida, I've taught in Connecticut, I've taught in Chicago. I've also taught this subject matter in China. And the young lady with the mask is correct. Guess what I taught? Math. I became a certified math teacher. Can you believe? What that means? Nothing is impossible. Let me hear y'all say it.
Nothing is impossible.
Nothing is impossible. And that's the next nugget that I want to leave with you here today. I'm going to give this young lady that said math, I'm going to give her a token. So run, come up. If you like things. You like things? Yeah, man. I don't feel like things. There you go. Thank you very much. Anybody guess which year I graduate yet? Anybody? And then I ask nobody. Alright, and I don't like things. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna have Miss Tamoya McLeod. Come on up, Miss Tamoya McLeod. She's the fifth former at this here very noble institution. And she's walking very nobly to the front. And she is going to make a presentation to our very noble and able guest speaker today.
Miss Brittany Edwards, it's an honor to have been in your presence today to listen to your inspirational, motivating, and exceptional charge. As students, we commit ourselves to build our character, choose a path of integrity, and have a focus to achieve greatness. On behalf of the Alphansus Davis High School, we please accept this token which symbolizes our love, admiration, and gratitude on behalf of the Alphansus Davis High School. God bless you, and we will have a legacy. God bless.
We're going to have Mrs. A. Williamson Reed. She's the head of the Human Ecology Department, and she's going to come with our World Economics Day highlights. Give her a round of applause as she comes.
You know, I'm just beaming today because I'm just seeing past students here, there, and everywhere. Anyway, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Today, March 21st, 2023, is being celebrated as World Home Economics Day under the theme Waste Literacy. So today we aim to highlight our theme practically and publicize home economics and consumer issues. As we seek to promote the theme, we'll be showcasing the use of pumpkin seeds that would normally be thrown out or just plants, and pineapple skin. That's what we are focusing on today for foods. Pumpkin seeds improve heart health, blood sugar levels, fertility and sleep quality, and also protect you against certain types of cancer. And our pineapple skin, when it is brewed, is packed with essential vitamins, minerals, and fiber, and it helps fight inflammation, builds your immune system, and helps in wound care, and basically improves the overall body health. We'll be displaying a variety of household items made from indigenous material, and we are also displaying some food items. We have a variety of things made from pumpkin seeds and pumpkin skin. And our showstopper today will be live sewing. Most times Sometimes you will hear about live cooking, but today it will be live sewing of unique garments. Our display promises to be interesting and informative. And so once again, I want to wish for all our teachers of the Human Ecology Department and the students who are wise in selecting these skills, happy World Home Economics Day. When you are through here, our display is on the outside. Thank you so much.
Give her a round of applause as she's walking back. Beautifully. So we are coming down. We have one very special item. Our cadet corps is going to come. But again, I just want to recognize all of you. You have listened so well, you have engaged so well. You know, you've heard about my 7 years in banking and finance, and Mr. Henry guessed business accounting, right? He guessed that's what I taught. Because when I attended Bethlehem while he was a lecturer there, that is what I studied. But as you move across the world, you realize sometimes, right, there are certain things that are more marketable. And so I had to decide to make a switch and do some extra studying and to get certified as a math teacher. But currently, I own my own business. It's called Elevate Coaching Academy, and I am an educational consultant and coach. Right? I have this coaching program. It's a 12-week coaching program that is called From Surviving to Soaring. Let me hear you say surviving to soaring. Because what I believe is that we don't just live just to survive. You ever feel like you're just waking up, you're just walking, you go to school, you go back home, and it's just monotony, right? And you feel like you're just surviving. But what I believe is that we do more than surviving. We're called to soar. Let's say called to soar. We're called to soar. And so I have that program that is one of my most attended and bought programs. But I also have this excellent program that is called Identifying Your Identity. And in that program, we focus on unearthing your God-given identity. I believe that there's destiny, and then there's destiny. There's a destiny that we create by the choices and the decisions that we make. And then there's a destiny that is our God-ordained destiny. When we're able to walk in unison with our Creator and allow Him to lead. And so all of you are born with a specific, God-ordained, beautiful purpose. And as we're celebrating and focused on Career Day today, I want you to remember that you are born and created for a beautiful purpose. And that how can we find out what our purpose is? This question is asked even often you'll find adults in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s still asking what is my purpose. But I can give you one tip today that you can begin to discover your purpose at this very young, tender age, being in high school. And it is a simple yet profound tip. It is the God who created you. He knows exactly what you were born to do. He knows the impact you were created to make. And so if you want to know what you were born to do, if you want to know what your purpose is, if you want to know where your greatness lies, you walk in relationship with the God who created you. And you ask Him. And you don't stop asking Him until you receive from Him the direction. So as you're thinking about careers today, right, I want you to remember, pursue a relationship with your Creator, because He knows exactly what you should be doing. Yeah? All right then. Let's have our cadets to come on up with our mission today.
Certificates are here for you. And there is a booth outside, the photo booth, that you must take your pictures in. And so for all the presenters on the outside too, or the visitors, a certificate is here for you. Just make sure one representative from the school or the institution accept this certificate. All right, I want to say thank you all for coming. All of uno? Yes. And so I want you, the JDF, they're here and they're waiting. I know how many persons want to become a soldier? Alright, good. Alright. Anybody want to become a police? Alright. Sir Albert Brown, where are you? Just come, let them see who to come to. Anybody want to become a fireman? Alright. Alright. So, Mr. Fireman, just wave your hand, let them see you. Alright. The person beside the fireman, anybody want to become a footballer? Hey. Alright. Mr. Coach, Tevin Dixon, put up your hand and let them see you. See? You can't look like that. You look dapper, don't it? Alright. So look at the policeman now. What do us use the policeman in a red seal? So the policeman, good. Alright, so we have the firefighter, the policeman, the football coach. And for those persons who have heard about Mount Pleasant Football Academy, you know hear about that one? Alright, so you see Mr. Tevin Dixon. He can't get you in. A true Tevin? Alright, good. Alright, so it's going to be lunchtime after this. We are going to be using that side of the auditorium for you to pick up your lunches. You can't stay in here to eat. Alright, so you're going to find a space to eat, because you know how when you eat in here, how it looks after you leave. Alright, so I'm going to call back Miss Ashman at this time to introduce to you the item that is next. You will have seen the cadets all across this place at evening time. Alright, Miss Ashman. And if you need
Alright, so that is it for this awesome time together. Y'all did excellently. Put your hands together for yourselves. Awesomely done. Thank you to all our presenters. Thank you to our
Wisdom. And as she already introduced me, I am Mrs. Dawn Rattigan Board, the president of the Past Student Association. And I would like to say thank you to all the past students who have taken time out to be here today. Let your presence be felt on this our noble institution, our alma mater. And I'm going to ask as much past students that are out on the outside to just walk on the inside and let me show or take a picture or show off of the present students. All the past students on the outside, I'm asking you to just take a walk on the inside. Please, quickly. Teachers, fireman, policeman, business person, everybody, just take a walk on the inside. And as they come along, could you please cheer them on? Security officers also. Are there any more on the outside? Mr. Joseph Lee, were you passed through the Spalding High School? Oh, okay, sorry about that. And these are some of our proud past students of the Spalding's / Alphansus Davis, or before Spalding's Junior Secondary, or we call it Spalding's High School. And could you come close for the picture? So we'll have a picture of our candidate. Thank you all. Somebody is coming. Devon, could you please hurry up and come? Run in, run on, hurry up. On behalf of the Past Student Association and the school itself, let me thank you all for making it Alphansus Davis High School. Could you please cheer them as they leave the auditorium? Thank you very much, thank you.
I'm going to ask one student in a full uniform to come here. Quick. One student in a full uniform. Come here. One girl. Quick. So, that was then, and this is now. Come little nearer. So, before and after. I'm going to ask all right, as they move the mask, yes, Mr. Solomon, you have to catch this. Before and take it off. Take off the mask. All right. So, what year was this one? From 1973 to what? To about 1995. And then this is 1995 to. And every now and again we hear, Miss, I choose a uniform no change. I choose a no change to black. color you want it to change to? Alright. Thank you so much. Thank you. Alright. That is going to be another dispensation. It won't be in your time. Now we're changing it. I'm not celebrating, I look good. Alright. Alright. So, as we disembark, remember, I wanted the past students on the outside, if they have anything, we had entertainment after lunch on the program. So if the past students, they know they can sing and dance and some other things, I'm going to ask them to let me know. If not, it's going to be back to class. All right. Now, if all goes well and the rain is not here, then we will return. All right, past student, well, come here. She look like a soldier, don't? Tell them what you teach at your school.
Building technology and technical drawing.
Yes, so building tech and technical drawing. Take a step, girls, and you could go off into what?
I can become an architect, well, a teacher, of course. I can be a draftsman. I can be a graphic artist.
Good. Right. And so Miss Sharon earlier on, she worked at Brown and Associates as a drafter. So if you want your house to build, she can do that. All right? Gonna ask you to stand. Thank you as we say our prayer. Remember, students, past students on the outside, don't leave without taking your picture. At each institution, you must take your picture in that picture frame that we have on the outside. All right? God is good. 2, 3. 2, 3. God is great. We go for that one. Which one you know? For health and strength? All right. 2, 3. For health and strength and daily food, we praise thy name, O Lord. Amen. So God is good was before. No, this one is thank you. All right, remember, musicians, I'm going to ask you to just move the music quickly. I want to thank Miss Ashman for being our co-MC. Thank you, Mrs. Brown. Thank you, Sir Principal. Brittany, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So Brittany and Ashman, you need to get your pictures taken on the outside. All right? Oh, lunch is being served on the other side. Thank God we don't have to move this. So quickly, go to the tent. Mrs. Thompson, make sure that the fireman gets his picture in the frame. See him there? Mr. Scott, wave your hand, see him there.